so does anyone see any differences? So take a look at this.
One side's blue.
One side's blue, one side's red.
Okay, so what?
Oh, I know. The boy was on the blue side.
Well, it was.
See, I'm smart.
Okay, so what is this right here?
The sac.
The amniotic sac. That's right. And you guys can see. So the babies could see each other through this. So they were in there together. And in this mama's belly, her daughter laid like this, and her boy was head down. Okay, so do we notice anything else about the placentas that is different? You can touch it respectfully. Is there anything else that's different about the two sides?
This side's bigger?
That side's bigger.
And flat.
Do you guys think that baby was bigger?
Yes.
Yes.
That baby was bigger, and that's the little girl.
Does that mean the baby was like healthier than the boy? If it was a bigger baby.
There's not a big discrepancy between their weights. So one was 5 pounds 12 and a half ounces. One was 6 pounds 3 and a half ounces. So they did not have a large discrepancy, which means they were pretty healthy babies. What else do we notice is different about these cords?
The boys is longer.
Okay.
And it looks like to me that the boys is like thinner.
I know, interesting, huh? So again, bigger baby, a little bit smaller baby. The thing that's interesting about this placenta is that this is almost directly like a half placenta, because if you had a singleton, it would just one baby by itself, it would probably be round like this. Placentas are normally round. So this one is directly like a half. Do you guys see that? It looks like a half. What do we think about the two clamps?
What are clamps?
Why do we think there's one on here and two on there?
Because that one is not as fat.
Okay, this baby came out first.
Oh.
And we wanted to be able to identify whose placenta was what, so that we would just have a little bit more information about the babies. So this is baby A, and he was a boy, and he was head down. This is baby B. She's a female, and she was breech. And what was really beautiful and amazing is that boy came out first, head down. Then we had over 2 hours as mama's body organized with baby, working with baby during baby B's labor. So baby B, remember, started out with her head over here and her body across the top of mama's body. And so mama stood up and sat straight upright while holding baby A, so that her contractions and her body could get baby B into a vertical position. We weren't concerned if baby B would come head down or if she would come rump down, but we needed her vertical so she could come out and exit. So it was really amazing how the body did that over time.
Was she a shoulder dystocia?
No.
Oh, that looks
That
so
thing's
funny.
sticky.
The baby yesterday morning was a dystocia, but the twins were actually very, very smooth. So, okay, so what else is really interesting, and you guys probably can't tell because these are now a little bit older, but these cords have the 3 vessels. I don't know if you guys can see if you get super close.
I can
1,
see.
2, 3.
Yeah, there's like little nubs, like little...
Yep. So 2
tendons.
arteries, 1 vein, 1, 2, 3, 2 arteries, 1 vein. So that's totally normal and that's great.
One is food, oxygen, and like life support or something.
So the placenta basically is the kidneys.
Can you turn it upside down?
I will. It's the kidneys,
The
it's
heart.
the lungs, it's the heart, and it's like the stomach and the intestines. So the placenta does all the things. And some people say it's the first mama.
Oh yeah.
Because it's an organ designed to care for the babies as they grow, and it's a disposable organ. And actually through 22 weeks of pregnancy, the placenta grows faster than the babies or the baby. Okay, so
like at one point it was like that big?
at one point it was, yes. And this placenta, this side right here, this is called Shiny Schultz. This is referred to as the tree of life, right? Because you have a tree with branches with no leaves, and then you have the stump, right? Okay, so this is the fetal side, and this is the side that the babies see and snuggle up against. And this placenta was a posterior placenta, which is where most of the placentas implant. And so it was back against mama's back part of her uterine wall. And so one thing that's interesting about this is that baby B was higher, our female, okay? And her cord
Was shorter?
is shorter. Baby A was lower in the pelvis and further away from the placenta, and his cord is what?
Longer.
That's right.
Because he was further away.
Yeah.
So
Is
Ew.
stuff, is that part of the amniotic sac?
So this stuff right here, this is the amnion and the chorion. There's two layers of sac. Yes. And so what's interesting is that you guys can see, since these are di babies, diamniotic, dichorionic, which is actually a great kind of twins to be blessed with, because they have their own placentas and they have their own sacs. Yeah, you can touch it. So they're less likely to have a problem, and they're less likely to have twin-to-twin transfusion because they have their own refrigerator, right? They have their own heart, lungs, intestines, stomach. They each have their own.
Mom, can I hold it?
You can hold it. So, but again, you guys can see, here's one. You can see the delineation. It's very clear. And here's the other one. So this is the maternal side.
baby A, baby B.
And each one of these is called cotyledons. And they're like little sponges. So every time the mother's heart beats, about 500 mLs of blood up to about 800 mLs of blood, so almost the size of that one huge big IV fluid bag, but it's a 1 liter, goes up against this giant sponge, goes through all of these vessels, back through the cords to the baby.
Dang, every single time the
so
heart
baby
beats.
B,
That's crazy.
That's her maternal side. Baby A, that's his maternal side. You guys can see the line, okay?
I read in that book at
And
the
here's the
birth
vessels.
center.
Darn it, here's the sacs. What'd you read?
Oh yeah. So like the
hold it. Let's
mama
look at something real
eats
quick.
food and then it goes from the placenta to the baby, and then like the baby poops and it goes through the placenta to the mom.
The waste, correct. And so mama's kidneys are filtering for mama and for baby, or in this case of the
Is
twins,
that what you did for me, Lovely?
babies. That's what I did for you and Lily. And so really,
Oh my God,
really interesting.
That's a really thick little vein right there.
Vessel.
I want to poke it.
So you guys can kind of see the two layers, okay? So it's amnion and chorion, and this is the baby sac. But you guys can see this is the other layer. You guys see that? So, and the layers, you can see how thin they are, right? See?
Yeah.
Would it
But
be?
those are two different layers of sac.
Would it be bad if it
want to hold
if it tore?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
the
is
bag of
that
water
possible?
often tears.
This is heavy.
That's heavy. We weighed it. Who has a guess at how much it weighs?
35 pounds.
Not
9
35
pounds.
25 pounds.
2 pounds, 2.5 pounds this placenta weighs. Pretty impressive, huh?
That's big. That's
So
like
this
a
mama
lot for a
had
placenta.
12 pounds, 1 ounce of babies and placenta. And her body did all of that. She did such a beautiful
Look
job.
at that
It
little
stuck to
thing.
me.
So
Oh, I got an itch.
the family got to take a peek at it. We took a lot of pictures at it. We talked about it. And the family wasn't attached to hanging on to it. And I thought, I know who's going to appreciate this. And we're going to take a look at it. I know you guys have seen placentas before. Now this is one last little finding. A little cyst, probably completely inconsequential because it's very, very tiny.
So,
And
like,
Is that a bubble?
it's not on a cord or
Oh,
near
there's
near
one
a
on.
cord.
Is that one on the cord?
No, there was one other one, and it was a little bit smaller than that, but I think it may
This is
have
on the-
popped.
Wait, are those
I
like
don't
bubbles?
see it anymore. Yeah, it's a cyst. It's just a little fluid-filled sac.
What if it pops? Does it splatter?
Yeah, fluid would probably come out at this stage. There was one more, and I saw it at the birth center this morning, but now it's not here, so I don't know where it went. But look at all these vessels. Look at that. We'll go in super close so everyone can see. Look at all these vessels. It's just so incredible.
There's like
Each one
thousands
laid
of
down
in here.
with intention.
I can't see so. Oh, it's so squishy right there.
So this part right here, this right here is called the cord insertion. So that's the cord insertion, right? And usually the cord insertion is in the middle of the placental
It looks
disc.
like a tree because like right there are the roots and then that's the trunk.
Yeah, so that's the tree. And this one is right, you know, it's about 2 finger breadths away from the edge of its placenta because these were originally separate. These 2 placentas were not together.
They conjoined.
But they grew right up next to each other because there's only so much room, right? But this one, if you look at it,
blue.
that one is very close to the edge of its placenta. So it's more of a marginal insertion. It's not right in the middle of the placenta.
Can I hold the cord?
Yeah.
Would it be possible if like
This is the boys, right?
it was
Yes, that's baby
like
boy.
on her placenta? Would it be possible if his cord was on hers?
Well, so there's different types of twins. And there's the di twins, which is what these babies are. So they're diamniotic, dichorionic. They have their own placentas and their own sacs. And that's the best kind of twin to have from a medical perspective because you can see that this sac keeps them essentially in their own little space.
Yeah.
So there's no risk of this baby wrapping up in this cord or this baby wrapping up in that cord. And they don't typically have connections between the blood flow.
Yeah.
So, and this one is pretty clear that they grew right up next to each other, but you guys can see they're right up next to each other, but they're separate. There is a margin, and the tissue is so different. It's very interesting.
It's cool how
So they had their own blood supplies.
It's kind of funny how the boy's side was blue and the girl's side pinkish.
Well, I think that may have more to do with the sac being over it. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know that for a fact, but
what's that little thing?
that's what I'm thinking.
Like that little
Oh yeah,
white patch.
that's another little form of cyst type stuff. And I believe that in this white patch, you see how there's not really any circulation through there, so that's kind of not really functioning tissue.
Is that another little
right
bubble
there.
thingy?
No, that's one of the white patches, which is again another form of tissue that I think is not really working. But that's why there's so many different cotyledons, so that if one infarcts or stops working, falls apart, gets calcified, then there's all these other little islands that will work to oxygenate,
Can I do something with the
process
cords?
waste, bring food, etc. to the babies. Can you do something with the cord? Well, we're gonna do one thing with the cord before we dispose of this beautiful placenta.
What were the babies' names?
Well, we're not gonna talk about the babies' names because that's kind
Private
of
information.
confidential information, but I figured what we do with this placenta is just to acknowledge what this mother's body has done for her babies, what all women do for their babies by marking, if I can even make a shape. Mama's a little tired. And marking, you see what I'm going for here?
Yeah. Oh, little twins.
The twin hearts. All right, so everyone sees our hearts? Yeah.
So get out of here. One more poke. Sort of looks like a cow eyeball.
Pretty
Like these
amazing.
little things right there and right there.
Is that another
They were
little
like
bubble,
with
or
the
is that the
cow
same one?
eyeballs.
Yeah, this is the one we saw earlier.
Is that a bubble?
Oh, I know when you checked out the cow eyeball. Yeah,
What about
similar.
that? Is that like another bubble?
Nope, this is just sack.
Oh.
It's just kind of piled up. But I just find
Yeah,
that
when I
so I mean, you guys can see, look, this is inside. This is baby girl's sack.
Oh.
You guys can see that. And then our placenta has kind of been explored and checked out, but if we turn it this way, you can see baby boy's sack.
Boys.
Can you see that, Fia? Can you go around the other side so you can see the two?
Aww.
So,
Yeah, I can see it.
pretty amazing. Pretty amazing these mama bodies are.
Just like you.
Okay.